And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Blockchain Talk. In this week's episode of Blockchain Talk, I will be talking about the current state of the market and everything which has been going on lately. Now, before I start, some of you viewers might notice I'm carrying a little something here. Yesterday I had a little crash and, I'm going to show you guys, broken my arm a little bit, and tends to be my right arm, the one I use for clicking and showing things. So things now going to be done with my left, so things might get effed up a little bit when opening up the tabs, etc. Anyway, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the current state of the market and how everything is going. Mostly going to talk about economics. By reason, there's a lot of FUD going on, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Lots of influencers sharing bearish news, whereas on the down low, there are other motives which are driving this market on the down low, which are very important. Now, before I do that, let's take a little look. I'm going to start sharing my screen at the current state of the crypto market, giving a small technical analysis. I'm going to keep it that way. Here's CoinGecko. So as you guys can tell, everything is quite in the red. 7-day moving average for Bitcoin about minus 28%. Ethereum doing quite badly here, minus 35%. Go, that's better. Minus 35%. Quite noticeable here. Tether, which is a stable coin, has been experiencing quite some volatility. More on that later. But it is quite important move. You can see here also as well, stablecoin USD coin, a large dip before it stabilizes once again, which coincides with the dip we are seeing here on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now let's take a closer look at Bitcoin. What the hell is happening here? Fresh. Currently trading at 22K. I had to adjust the title, but didn't do it as I was going live. Take a little look here. You can tell, relatively stable. Little crash earlier this morning. Reached a down below of almost 20,000 euros. 20,000 US dollars, sorry. It's now veering back up. Seems to be relatively stable here. Slightly above 22K levels. In my opinion, the thing is quite oversold. Sorry. Let's take a look at the weekly. You can tell here we were doing fine, but now there's a sudden market crash here. Especially here, there's a sudden downfall starting from yesterday. Let's say, midnight yesterday. So there seems to have been a sell-off when a certain market opened up. Otherwise, it was relatively stable, as you can tell here, 14-day range. So there's a sudden dip going on. Relatively stable sudden dip. Monthly, 90-day, as you can tell. These were the trading level ranges before the Terra Luna dump. The dump occurred here, by which we reached these levels, stabilized, sideways trading for about a month, and now suddenly we are dipping once again. Now you might start to wonder what the hell is happening here. Well, quite a lot of things, in fact. Let's just start with the general state of the economy. For that, I've opened up this little page here, as you guys can see. The general economy isn't doing all too great. Dow is down with 876 points, or minus 2.79%. Nasdaq minus 4.68. S&P 3.88. Alibaba Group going down. Boeing going down. General Motors, Ford Motor doing better, etc., etc. Not going to get all too deep into it. The most important parts are these: energy, minerals, consumer non-durables, utilities. Implies these resources are getting more expensive. energy minerals. Think of in terms of energy production, uranium, etc. Consumer non-durables, utilities. Okay, those are going up. There's a price increase. However, as these are increasing, everything else is decreasing in value, meaning the health services, well, they're at a loss. Communications, retail, technology, finance. So things are going bad, as you can see even here with the biggest losers currently being reported. The markets at overall, so not only the cryptocurrency market, are bleeding in red. And there's still a correlation between the crypto market and the traditional macroeconomy, the traditional markets. The traditional markets are doing bad. There are two scenarios which can play out. People will either flock to crypto, especially during bull markets, as it will protect their wealth. However, as we are in a prolonged consolidation phase, in a prolonged sideways trading phase, well, no real gains or profit can be made. So what are people doing? Well, they're starting to sell off their crypto, which implies a little crash on the crypto markets. By reason there's more crypto being dumped on the crypto market, supply goes up, demand remains level or lowers down, which implies the prices are falling. This in part explains what you have seen here. I'm going to zoom in on 7 days, which implies what we've seen occurring here. Markets are doing badly, so does crypto. Now, what other factors are playing? Well, this is an article, June 12th, 2029. There's a run on Chinese banks and it's being ignored by the world. Little controversial article. However, it states that there's a financial crisis going on in China, that there's a loss of trust in traditional finance and banking system in China. More and more people are withdrawing money from their bank accounts, which actually this actually is what a run on banks is. Implies people do not trust the established institutes anymore, and they are taking away their wealth, their money, draining the system from money that they tend to use to speculate with. And well, in this article, they do an explanation what a bank run is, what's occurring when the last ones were, where it's happening, that it's a really wave that's passing by across the country, being underreported, etc., etc. However, this also mentions a quite important aspect, and that is that already people are being blocked to access their own bank accounts, that they can no longer withdraw their money. And naturally, people need money to survive. So what's going to occur? They will start selling off assets. What are the easiest assets to sell? Those are digital ones. Crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Monero, Cumrocket, Ravencoin, whatever. These are being sold as first, meaning this also strengthens the move you are seeing here. The article was written 12th of June. You might expect this has been going on for some time, and you can tell here that indeed as more people are becoming aware of it, the bank run instigated a sell-off of crypto, meaning that prices of Bitcoin is going down now. Naturally, some people are buying up. Current resistance is at 22,500 approximately. I'm going to resistance, I said, support. We are currently at support levels, it seems, slightly below, slightly above 22k. Now, what other factors are playing within the crypto market? Well, once again, not all too surprising, Ethereum mining difficulty delayed again ahead of big transition. Robston last week. As you can tell, Robston is one of their test nets, whereby Ethereum does all the testing before doing their big event, the merge, whereby they switch towards a proof of stake. There were a few faults, but at overall, the merge on their testnet was quite successful. Now, why is this quite important, and what does this have to do with the proposed sell-off? Well, as the merge is approaching, more and more miners are going to abandon Ethereum. By reason, in a few weeks' time, they will become obsolete. Obsolete, well, their mining services are no longer needed. So what are these people going to do? Well, those who can still make a decent profit will continue mining, probably up until the moment of the merge. But there are a few, especially during these market conditions, which aren't profitable anymore. They are already switching off their miners. They are already abandoning Ethereum, selling off their holdings, investing in it elsewhere. Now, some miners might say, look, I've got a sizable amount of Ethereum. I believe in it. They might start staking more Ethereum in order to become a validator node on the new proof of stake Ethereum blockchain. However, the merge is approaching. In a few weeks' time, about 2 months, will it be launched? And a lot of miners will probably start dumping their Ethereum before switching over towards another network. Ravencoin and Ethereum Classic being top contenders. Others exist as well. But from my head off, from top of my hat, I know it's going to be Ethereum Classic and Ravencoin. The difficulty bump, the delayed difficulty in mining. Yeah, sorry, those are the antibiotics. I'm having a bit of trouble explaining today. So yeah, this delay is also a little bearish indication. By reason, mining difficulty adds to the security of the network. And if you are not adjusting it and it gets delayed, well, the network remains slightly less secure, to put it in more covert terms. Meaning, well, people will also have less trust in the network. That aside. Next one up. Pensar Cefu, Binance pauses Bitcoin withdrawals due to network backlog. Also on June 13th, this is also bearish news, which also explains this is actually being a black swan event that's occurring. It also explains what happened. So once again, because the market is falling down. All right, next one, plus here. Because the network's falling down, a lot more and more decentralized exchanges are experiencing difficulties. Difficulties in liquidity. People are dumping their coins and withdrawing, well, their stable coins. They're cashing in. And quite a lot of networks are having trouble. Binance included. Here they say Binance pauses Bitcoin withdrawals due to network backlog. They say, look, an error occurred and we delayed or paused Bitcoin withdrawals by reasons of it. However, stuck on-chain transactions, our team is currently working on a solution and will provide further updates soon. They put a halt on it because one transaction couldn't get through and they had to pause everything. I'm going to call bullshit on that one. Well, it is possible with blockchain. Has to do with validation of transactions, but generally the transaction gets either rejected or accepted. No backlog can be made. So this is a little bit sketchy. They interfered and probably saw a problem with their own liquidity. Time will tell. Now they say, look, Binance has resumed BTC withdrawals. Good news. Probably is resulted in something akin to this, a little bit of recovery going on. However, as you guys can tell, I also already mentioned it, now, well, quite a few decentralized exchanges will be having trouble with their liquidity, meaning people will be dumping their Ethereum and Bitcoin on the decentralized exchanges. Celsius being one of them. And they too, like Binance, halted withdrawings. And naturally, they go further and say, look, they transferred 320 million worth of crypto to FTX without giving a reason. So it implies there's a problem with liquidity, and they're probably trying to cash in order to serve their customers. Celsius, for those who are not in the know, is an earn, borrow, and lend platform for cryptocurrency. You can earn there by staking your currency, well, your Celsius coins, your Ethereum, your Bitcoin, etc. can be paid in their native token called Cell, or cash out in USD dollars, etc. However, they had to halt it due to liquidity problems, probably the same as these guys, as Binance is still partially decentralized. It is a centralized entity, and I must admit, in the past, and I'm still sticking to these words, I do not trust Binance. It is great for trading, for discovering new tokens, but I do not trust them by reason they show themselves to be decentralized, but as made clear here, they aren't as decentralized as they want to be. Celsius, I have more trust in. However, they are experiencing one of the troubles many decentralized exchanges are currently having. That said, naturally, with Ethereum, as mentioned here, Ethereum mining difficulty delayed again ahead of big transition. And going to add an additional insight on Ethereum, there's a lot of Bitcoin wrapped up, meaning Bitcoin made available on the Ethereum network. We call it wrapped coins, meaning they are being held in a wallet, and that wallet is being steered by smart contracts, which moves Bitcoin or the newly made wrapped Bitcoin tokens. However, as Bitcoin is crashing, so does Ethereum crash as well. And naturally, with what I mentioned earlier, stock market and the Chinese crisis here, well, people get in money trouble and people need to pay their debts, still need to pay their bills. And Ethereum, well, was forced to sell off part of his holdings, quite a lot even, which is once again bearish, which tears down on Ethereum itself, but also onto the crypto market itself. So as you can tell, that's problematic. Now, long term, this is a good move. The more whale movements occur in the beginning of a cryptocurrency coin, the more distributed the coins become, the less whales will remain. It means that the coin will be more fairly distributed and will set it up future-wise for higher values. So in a sense, is this bad news short-term, especially during these market conditions? However, long-term speaking, this is actually some quite good news, and we might see some bullish pointers towards the future. I'm at loss for words here. Sorry, guys. Naturally, we're going to start talking about NFTs now. If the underlying asset of an NFT plunges, so does the NFT. You need to understand with NFTs, you pay with the native coins or tokens from said blockchain. Meaning, Bored Ape Yacht Club has been minted on Ethereum. Its value is being established by the amount of Ethereum backing the NFT. If Ethereum is doing badly, so will the NFTs, as can be evidenced here. Bored Ape floor plunges below 100,000 as NFT prices collapse. NFT prices are collapsing due to the assets with which they are being bought are crashing as well. So this is really a cascading effect. I wanted to share this one. This isn't really bearish or bullish news, but this is a little insight I wanted to share with you guys into mentioning, look, that's how crypto and NFTs work. A little side note. Now, naturally, what spurred on this little bear market And in my previous videos, I mentioned it quite often, as we were trading 90 days at much higher levels on beforehand, up until 8th of May. And it all had to do with Terra Luna going bankrupt, with the USD being depegged from its value, everything crashing down, and a literal dump of Bitcoin on the market, which you saw here. Naturally, there are some additional notes. So not only was Bitcoin being dumped, but now Do Kwon, CEO of Terra Luna, has been cashing out his holdings. And that's some additional news which invokes distrust in the crypto market. There's a fraudulent guy simply cashing out at the expense of all other speculators and investors like myself, you people watching, and many, many others. So yeah, this is actually quite criminal behavior if proven to be true. By reason, well, okay, that's another article. I don't have it here. By reason, Do Kwon has lawyered up and says, look, I didn't do it. There are no real indications. However, it's now going to become a little legal case wherein he's going to try to prove his innocence. However, the blockchain is speaking against him. People can look up what has been happening in transactions. So the fact that there's a hidden wallet being controlled by Do Kwon or the Terra Labs Foundation or Guard, and whereby the cash out has been registered. Sorry, guys, but that amounts to distrust, especially considering the amount of money involved. Naturally, adding fuel to the fire that is currently the bearish market, this once again is also bearish news. The SEC is now taking out a variety of cryptocurrency projects. Now, I'm not all too shabby. I wanted to say no. Not all too pissed. The SEC is investigating Do Kwon and Terraform Labs. By reason, what did occur a month ago indeed was truly shady, was indeed effed up. So they are under investigation, but naturally, people who aren't aware of the cryptocurrency market, what is occurring everywhere else, will see this as, once again, a reason to distrust crypto. It will probably convince people to sell off their assets, once again, instigating a little dump on the already bearish market. Long term, it is naturally a good sign. By reason, more coins become available for investors and speculators can buy up. However, currently, it results in a further down cycle. And with that, I'm going to conclude this episode. I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. There we go. So thus far, current state of the news. What's occurring and happening in the crypto world. So what do you need to take away from what's happening in the market? There are a lot of bearish things occurring. A lot of FUD in the after event of what Do Kwon did with his Terraform Labs. The delayed Ethereum mining adjustment is also a bearish aspect to it. By reason, many more miners are now abandoning already Ethereum network and seeking elsewhere to maximize their profits. Furthermore, the classic markets are also doing badly, forcing people to sell off their assets, and digital assets are naturally the easiest to sell off. So Bitcoin, Ethereum are being dumped on the market. So with that and the additional FUD news, we are in a bearish market, and that's one of the reasons why we have such low prices. Now, some of my viewers who follow me on social media and in my Telegram channel have seen me proclaiming a few days ago, before we fell below the 25K, whereby I said, look, it's not going to occur. I don't see it happening. Well, it did happen, and while I am eager to say, look, I'm still holding true to my words. I still do so, but naturally it occurred. I do not have a glass ball to predict the future, so it can always occur. I didn't expect it to happen, but now considering the news we've seen, well, there's a solid explanation to it. I'm going to retrace my words and will admit that I made a mistake, that it indeed can fall below 25k. What's the next level of support? I dare not say. From what I can tell, very briefly, from what we saw on CoinGecko, last 24 hours, it seems 21k is heavy support, probably 22k. So range 21, 22k, that's where our heavy supports are. And with that, well, there's nothing much else to add, apart from that tomorrow there's going to be a new Crypto Bull episode. What was the project again? I've chosen one. You just need to look it up on the playlists on my channel. And finally, after more than a month, there will also be the Dutch live stream with Stan from Crypto Belgium, where we will be talking about once again current state of the markets with other insights. With that, guys, I want to thank you all for watching. If you like these videos, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. It helps me with the algorithms. Naturally, you can follow me on social media. If you want to support the channel, there's a few links down below to buy some of my courses, or just follow me on social media. With that, thank you guys for watching, and up until next time. Bye.